This week, let's talk a little bit more in depth about 3D printing. Recently, I've been prototyping meeples, and this made me think of the freedom a 3D printer gives me when wanting to make cool things for my prototypes. Let's go over a few ideas and options that might work for you. First, let's talk about the different types of 3D printers, where to find them, and their resources. There are two types of printers you might find in your normal home, filament or resin. There are two types of main printers you're going to see in an average home, filament or resin. They're also known as FDM and SLA, respectively. FDM printers are easy to use, they're inexpensive, they're generally convenient, but they do have some downsides. They're not great at small details like you would find in a miniature. This is because they use a roll of filament and they lay things down in layers. I use my FDM printer to print something like this, these meeples, or even a box for this tower. SLA printers use a resin. Resin can be expensive, and the printer can also be expensive because you also need to cure and clean your prints. The resin before it's cured is toxic, so you also need a lot of PPE equipment, gloves, masks, washing stations, and then you need to keep your printer in a well-ventilated area. But unlike FDM printers, which are slow when printing a lot of things, SLA printers are the same speed when printing one thing or a lot. They're also great for high detailed things like this tank, or even this miniature. 3D printers are pretty easy to find. They're online everywhere. You can even get them on Amazon. If you don't want to go out and buy one on your own, you can also join a local makerspace. Makerspaces tend to have a membership, but they give you access to things like 3D printers, laser cutters, and more. Lastly, here are a few resources to consider. On sites like Thingiverse, you can find great pre-made shapes that you can use or alter. There's also sites like SVG to STL, which is great for turning a vector SVG into a 3D shape. I use those for the meeples. You can also get access to already 3D printed parts on the GameCrafters 3D printed parts section. Share in the comments your favorite way to use 3D printers in your prototypes. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you gamers next week.